Okay. Welcome to Meme Talk. I'm Deborah Koppel Mitchell.
And I'm Christy Revelis.
We're with the Conscious Meme Network. And today we want to share with you just kind of our process of what's been going on. We wanted to have something new to share on this video, and Christy had an idea come to her today, and she emailed it to me, and it was...
Well, I woke up, Deb, with this whole idea being the holidays and people talking about the economy and shopping and stuff, and that this message came up to me around this concept of frugality fatigue.
Love it. Frugality fatigue. I didn't even know exactly what that meant, and yet it sounds so relevant. And so, Christy, this frugality fatigue, did you come up with that term?
I wish I did, but I didn't. I heard it on NPR several months ago, actually. It was, they were talking about the way that people were getting fatigued of not being able to spend money. And the concept of that really hung in there for me. It's been gnawing on my conscience for a long time. That the whole idea that we would feel a sense of fatigue at not being able to spend money. What does that mean for our culture? What are the implications for us as a people?
Right, and it makes you realize that we've been memed about how being able to spend money and consumerism is something that we should be doing, and if we're not, then something is wrong.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And so when we were talking about it, it reminded me back in 2007, this video went mainstream. It went meme called The Story of Stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. And Christy had never seen it before, so she actually watched it today. And it was amazing. And I actually revisited the video. It's online, and you can just find it by Googling The Story of Stuff video, and you can find it. And it reminded me of how relevant that message is for right now. And,
yes, completely.
And how it really goes along with the whole Occupy movement underlying message of what's going on there. And tell me what you thought when
I took notes.
Christy took some notes.
I took a lot of notes because this movie is powerful. It's only 20 minutes, but the message is really powerful because it gives you the history of how we became such a consumer-obsessed society. And it's very recent.
And it's done so entertaining.
It is, yeah. And anybody from a small child to an elderly person can understand the meaning of this movie, which is also really very cool.
We'll help you really get what's been going on and how we have been memed.
Yes, to buy things.
Yes. And we want to make it a conscious meme so that we're more aware of actually how we've been run by this.
Yes.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. Okay, you want to hear some of the things I got out of this movie?
Please, tell me.
I'm really upset about some of this stuff. All right, so first of all, she talks about the top economies in the world. And out of the top 100 economies in the world, 51 are corporations. How could that be? The corporations aren't countries. It just doesn't make sense to me. So anywho, second tidbit is that the United States has 5% of the population, yet consumes 30% of the world's resources. We're consumers.
It really shows how we've been memed about consuming.
To buy things.
Yes.
And that our identity as consumers, it is our primary identity. I totally agree with that. Don't you, Deb?
Yes, as a culture in this country, yes.
We consume. She says in the video, she says that our lives are basically taken up with watching TV, consuming things, buying things, consuming things, working so that you can pay for those things that you bought, and then watching more TV and getting fed ideas about what you need to buy. So the whole idea being that we're constantly being fed these memes about why we're not good enough because we don't have certain things.
Exactly, and there's a whole generation, whenever I'm around younger people nowadays and all the texting and the technology that's going on, you realize that this is a generation that has been totally become obsessed with this very thing.
Yes, it's disturbing when we think that shopping is a major hobby. That this is what we do as a culture, is we include shopping as a recreational activity.
Right. So it's surprising that we don't see more under people's interests and activities shopping.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. So I woke up with some ideas about what we could do instead of shopping.
I would love to hear it. Wouldn't you all like to hear a few of Christy's ideas?
Of course you would. And Deb, you're going to add some. You're going to add to this, okay? All right. So we're going to do this from number 7, because I could only think of 7 ideas, but I think it's a good place to start. Yes. All right. So this is me at 6 o'clock in the morning thinking of these ideas. So number 7 is, Deb, wouldn't it be great, instead of buying something new, that we take some time to learn something new?
I love that idea. Make that a part of our activity.
That could be so enlightening. Instead of focusing on having or doing, we can focus on being more than what we are, expanding our knowledge, expanding our expertise, expanding our interests.
Yes, so getting excited about learning something new.
Yeah. Yes. All right, cool. So number 6 thing you can do instead of going shopping is do something special with your time. Time is one of our most precious resources that we always complain that we don't have enough of. So why don't we carve out some time and do something special? What would you like to do, Deb, with your time? What would be a special gift for yourself?
Well, one of the things that I realize when I'm feeling out of balance is that I need to get myself out in nature. And even if I just go sit under the trees on our land and sit on the earth and just be still and listen to the sounds of nature, that's a gift.
Yes. That is a gift.
Yes.
It's so much more valuable than having something that we're going to throw away in 6 months. By the way, something else I learned from the video, 99% of what we purchase is consumed and trashed within 6 months.
Yes. And then what are we going to do with all the trash?
That's a whole other video, Deb. All right, number 5. Instead of thinking of a gift and going out and buying gifts for people, why don't you just take a little trek around your house and find something special that has meaning to you that you can give, that you don't necessarily need anymore, but somebody else would really enjoy. So recycling something from your own things that you have, your own stuff, and gifting that to somebody.
Yes, and even letting the person know why this thing was meaningful to you. I find I'm doing that with my goddaughters.
That's great.
Yeah, and whether they appreciate it or not now, maybe down the line they will.
Absolutely, and it has a special meaning to it. It's not just something you bought at the store, but it has a message to it. So that's cool. All right, this one I love. Make a gift. You know, I just met somebody and her family, they only give each other handmade gifts at Christmas.
I love that. And our friends, a lot of us, we just say, hey, we don't do gifts. Let's bake something. And I know that's not too original. And it's really a great way to just cut back on the consumerism.
It's very meaningful, too, because when I eat your cookies, I think of you every time.
Yes, exactly.
All right. This one has been a special one for me this year, and I'm still working on it, but it's clearing the clutter. And what are your thoughts about clearing the clutter?
Well, I love when you bring that up because it does bring back the times that I have cleared out clutter. I always realize, wow, I really don't need any more of this. I don't need more of that. I have so much stuff. And it's a very rejuvenating to clear things out.
Well, and it makes what's coming up for me is that it makes me realize how much stuff I already have, that I don't need to buy more, because then I have to clear it out again.
It's very enlightening.
It is, absolutely. So that was number 3.
Yeah.
So number 2, reappreciate what you have. What do you think of that
Which
one?
kind of goes along with the cleaning out and all of that, because part of that process is if you're doing it consciously, then you are appreciating what you have, what you already have. And it doesn't have to just be stuff, that's for sure.
Absolutely, which leads us to number 1, drum roll please. Number 1 thing that you can do instead of shopping is this: feel intense gratitude for the big, important things that you have in your life, and they're usually not stuff.
Yes, and they don't even actually have to be big. Those little things that can be fill a big space in your heart. And that was very good sharing on that, Christy. And there was something else in our conversation about the subject that you brought up that I thought was really interesting, and that was bringing up what happened after the war.
World War II.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Which was brought out in the movie Stuff.
Yes,
Yes.
the Stuff Project. That we were not always a consumer-based society. That this was something that came about very recently, right after World War II. The president decided that we needed to reinvigorate our economy, and so the actual message sent out, the meme sent out to our parents and grandparents at that time is, we need to consume things, and in order for this society to really increase or improve economically is we need to buy things. And so that's when that whole consumerism mentality was born, and has since been fueled.
Yes, we saw it recycled right after 9/11.
Exactly. When
Yes.
President Bush told us, instead of going out and hugging people or going out and grieving with others, he told us to go shopping. So that was just and the interesting thing too is that the happiness in the United States compared to other countries is actually lower than poorer countries.
Yes, and I'm sure that many of you that have been traveling around about in the world have noticed in countries like Africa, when my husband and I were there, it seemed to us as outsiders like these people had so little, and yet so many seemed so happy. In fact, a lot happier than what you see in our culture.
Right.
Yes. And especially with the children, they're so appreciative of the smallest of things, and education and a pencil, and it's really a wake-up call for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
About gratitude especially.
Yes, so gratitude is our biggest commodity, we think.
Yep, and it's the number one thing you can do instead of shopping.
Yes, and we want to make that a conscious meme now.
Yes.
So I'm Deborah Koppel Mitchell with the Conscious Meme Network.
And I'm Christy Revelis.
And we are all about spreading ideas that matter
and shining a light on what elevates our lives. Thanks for joining us, and check back next time for our next meme talk.
We'll be back.